I just wanted to ask how you felt about schools blocking a lot of the things that you use at home, and whether you feel that's too restrictive, or do you think that's a sensible approach?
I think it's a good idea to block it, but in my school, I know a lot of people get around it. There's proxy sites that everybody uses, so as much as it's a good idea, it's not
The
really
kids use
working.
proxy
Yeah.
servers if they want to, and if you've got software put on the laptops and the laptop programs, they just reformat the laptops.
So in some ways it is a good idea. Like, of course, I'm annoyed I can't go on Facebook at school, but in many ways teachers don't want their kids on Facebook while they're supposed to be taking notes. Like, it's honestly, it is, I believe, in the school's jurisdiction, if you will, to be able to block these sites. The problem is kids do get around them. So in some ways it's almost pointless to some extent.
Josh, what do you think?
Well, I think that there should be blocking, but the blocking doesn't really help too much. As everybody else said, you can get around it if you want to.
What do you think, Finn?
I agree with everybody about the blocking, but it is very easy to get around it. I've seen it happen in our school.
So if you were going to give one piece of advice to people in the audience, each one of you quickly, they're all part of the industry, they're building things, they're selling things, they're marketing things, they want to think about what to do next. What's next? What should they know? What do you want them to take away from today? We'll start here to give you time, Vincent, to think about it.
Okay, well, I guess since we were just talking about things like blocking sites and making age restrictions, I think they're pretty similar in that they both are really good ideas, but they aren't really going to work because it's really easy to get around it and everyone will. So that being said, I think what we need to focus on is how parents can get involved, how industry can get involved in keeping those younger kids safer, and how kids themselves can help advise industry and advise parents, which is basically what the Teen Angels do, so that everyone is involved in keeping these younger kids safer.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just going off of what Stephanie said. As teenagers, we talk to the kids. We know exactly what they think because we're in the schools. I think more teen angels, more talking to the kids to help advise, which we are currently doing, but not at the scale that we would like to. So I guess more teen angels, more advising, more talking to local schools to try to keep kids safer.
Caroline.
Well, kind of off of what Maria said, like, kids don't really listen to adults because they're just like, oh, an adult's talking to them. Like, yeah. And so, but when they hear kids speaking to them, they realize that they have gone through what they are going through at that moment, and they know what they are talking about. And so I think that we should get more kids to advise the other kids instead of just like adults.
One advice, something I would have to tell everyone is, kids are smarter than you give them credit for. They're not stupid. We're not stupid. If someone wants access to a site, they're going to get access to a site. And it's important to talk to kids. You know, this dialogue is not going to stop in the next a minute and 20 seconds. It needs to keep going, and that's so important. Like, kids are they're going to get what they want online. It's about teaching them how to stay safe and giving them what they want at the same time.
I agree with what you just said, that we need to educate the kids more about being safe online rather than developing all these security solutions. They need to know themselves. They need to learn from their parents, and their parents need to learn from somewhere.
Right.
I agree basically with what everybody's saying, but when we talk about educating the kids, when kids hear that word, they'll think that it's not cool, and I think we should find a way to make educating kids online with cyber safety, like, cooler.
How can we do that?
A nice mascot.
Okay. So thank you very much. These kids are pretty amazing, and they're all over the world. We just had a chapter start in Lebanon and two in Pakistan, and it's amazing to see how they're going to be changing the world worldwide. But thank you very much. I love you guys.
Where can we follow you guys? Where at Wired?
Well, Wired Mom. You could follow Don't Stand By, Stand Up. So one of our teen angels who couldn't be here today as one of the 5 finalists for 17 Magazine's Amazing Teen Contest.
That means we have to vote, right?
That means you have to vote. So
Okay.
if you go to facebook.com/don'tstandby, stand up, no apostrophe, you'll go to our site and it'll take you the link to 17. Vote for her. If you vote for her, she's going to be in the magazine anyway, but you'll have the cover. And she created Don't Stand By, Stand Up after her classmate from Ridgewood High School, Tyler Clementi, jumped off the George Washington Bridge after a roommate violated his privacy in their dorm room. And so she went to school with him and she announced it on Dr. Phil, and she wants 1 million people to take a pledge that they're going to do something when they see bad things happen. So you can find them at teenangels.org, wiredsafety.org, and if any of you want to work with them, please let us know. We need a new consulting gig to pay for their next year. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. So you guys, thank you so much.